The Germans had prepared for the initial conflict better than a lot of the countries who would oppose them. The Legion Condor in the skies of the Spanish Civil War taught them a lot about the war to come. America had been slower to modernise here. Part of this was due to the fact that aircraft were still very new as a form of warfare. The US did not have a dedicated air force, but rather it was connected to the Army. There was also interdepartmental politics and rivalries. The Navy was not impressed that the Army wouldn't just stay on the damn ground. The USAAC, as the European situation continued to deteriorate, came to understand just how unprepared they were for training during a full-scale conflict. General Hap Arnold wanted to make the force better prepared if the US found itself in a conflict, and began an aggressive modernisation in training procedures. As 1939 would draw to a close, they would train around 1,200 pilots. Then, in 1940, it would be close to 7,000. Such an undertaking needed forward thinking, and the civilian sector was used extensively. The Army would provide the aircraft and the training methods. The schools would provide the basic flight training. The schools were also required to have and maintain the facilities and provide all needed services. Early 1939 would have 8 civilian schools working in the program. Each pilot could receive up to 36 hours training split between primary, basic, and advanced flight. The Steerman biplane proved to be an excellent trainer, and the program was working. Several future aces would graduate early on. The program would evolve over time as the situation changed. Early 1942, the training was being done by the Flight Training Command and the Technical Training Command. In 1944, the flight hours have been increased. There would be 65 hours for primary, 70 for basic and 75 for advanced, as well as more than 200 hours on the ground. Pre-flight training consisted of medical and aptitude tests, done through a 1 to 5 month program. These were done at a college training detachment. Washing out from these was common. Those that passed would become cadets, academic classes, marching, PT, and from there, gunnery, aircraft recognition, mathematics and navigation. They would move to flight training if they passed the pre-flight courses. The flight training was all about building upon skills, basic skills, stall and spin recovery, takeoff, landings, moving to solo, more advanced flying, gunnery and combat. A variety of aircraft were used, with different characteristics and complexity. Ground school was pretty intense, aircraft recognition, navigation, some mechanical understanding to troubleshoot. When advanced training concluded, they were awarded silver pilot wings. From there they would be trained on the aircraft that they would be using in operational service. Pilot training was one of the most challenging things the military could do. It was always a balance. It takes time to produce a qualified pilot, too long in wartime conditions. But if too many shortcuts are made, the quality of the pilot deteriorates greatly. It was of great advantage that pilots could be trained in the US and Canada, away from the front lines. For Germany and Japan, as the war continued, they would have no friendly skies in which to train.